Do you recall when first we met? 'Twas at the memorial service for the Battle of Carteneau. We met in the cart of the opening of the game, young man.
Thou art the bringer of light, bane of Ifrit, Titan, Garuda, and Leviathan.
He knows who I am.
Face me, bringer of light.
Ascilia, I do not wish to interrupt, but we have a problem. What manner of problem? A band of refugees hailing from Ul'dah this time are come to Revenant's Toll seeking asylum. It would seem they expect us to afford them the same treatment we gave the Domans. At present they are in the 7th heaven, awaiting a formal response. I see. Mayhap this was to be expected. I shall meet with them at once. Ascilia, you know full well we haven't the resources to accommodate many more people. Consider what will happen if you do this. Word will spread and more will follow. Your opinion is duly noted, but I will hear their suit. That's fair, you can at least hear him out. Chrane, I should be grateful for your presence at this meeting. Oh, okay. This is my problem too now, huh? I apologize for keeping you waiting. My name is Minfilia, and I lead the Scions of the 7th Dawn. 12 be praised, it is you! We're ready and willing to work, same as the Domans. Just give us a task and we'll see it done. Pray calm yourselves. I appreciate your enthusiasm, but I know not of your situation. Beg your pardon, antecedent. It ain't so good. I ain't so good with words. We've been living off the scraps of Ul'dah for years now, trying to piece together a life to replace the one what got took. They say there's work, but there is not for an honest man. Not as wouldn't sully his soul sooner than his palms, any road. The flames do what they can for us, of course, but it ain't near enough. And it's only getting worse. When the calamity brought us to our knees, those rich bastards in the city didn't help us up. They climbed on our backs. I don't pretend to be clever, but even I can see what's coming. I knew we had to run. The only question was where, and then it came to me, Revenant's Toll. I mean, you took them foreigners in, didn't you? So you'd surely do the same for us. I fear the situation is rather more complicated. While it is true that we accepted the Doman's petition for aid, that decision was the product of extraordinary circumstances. I sympathize deeply with your plight, but pray understand that it is not possible for an organization of our means to aid all who have been affected by the calamity. And so it is with great regret that I must deny your request. But we've nowhere else to go. You're turning your back on us? If I might have a word. Tataru? Is aught amiss? Ill tidings from Ul'dah, my lady. Alphinaud has been wounded. That boy has a bright future ahead of him, and I'll be damned if they kill him. You hear me? You hear me, devs? God damn it. That innocent boy. What? How? Is it serious? Better not be. I cannot say for certain, but I fear it might be. According to the Flames, the refugees started a riot. They went wild, apparently, lashing out at any and everyone. Okay, so you don't have anything to do with it? Okay, good. That can't be right. Why would they? They must have been provoked. The demonstration was meant to be peaceful. What demonstration? 7 hell. Snotherblades have an excuse. They'll round us up and kill everyone who tries to resist. Antecedent, please. If you won't help us build a new life, at least help us keep the ones we've got. My lady. This seems almost like they came here at a time that's a little too convenient, but it also feels wrong to judge them. I don't know. It's a rough one. We're not ones to stand idly by and watch innocents suffer. However, until we know more of the circumstances surrounding this riot, I am not certain what aid, if any, we can provide. Yeah. If the authorities determine that the refugees attacked without provocation, then those responsible will have to answer for their actions. How can you be so blind? Find Alphinaud, and quickly. If he's in danger or worse, I would have you and none other by his side. They're actually putting us into some really complicated, like, political situations in this. I'm really enjoying that. I'm not enjoying the fact that Alphinaud might be severely wounded, on the other hand. Alphinaud's being treated at the hourglass. Hurry, Chrane. Go, go, go. Run. I guess he's fine?
Come, you must have gathered by now that Tataru is given to exaggeration. As you can see, I am quite well.
I'm telling you, this character, he's gonna grow. I can feel it.
This riot was anything but an isolated incident.
Okay.
There is a restlessness in the air. Tensions long simmering are at last threatening to boil over. Ul'dah is a nation infamous for the great disparity between the wealthy and the poor.
Yeah.
The majority of the populace accepts this state of affairs because they believe that every man bears responsibility for his own lot in life. To an Ul'dah, money is the foremost, and some would say the only measure of a man's worth. Small wonder that the wealthiest wield the greatest influence.
Always a Lalafell.
So where do the refugees fit into this social hierarchy? What place is there for those who fled Alamigo and the destruction of the Calamity?
They have no place.
Plainly, there is none.
Yeah, exactly.
They have no wealth, no power, and no worth. To the Ul'dah way of thinking, they may as well not exist. Choosing to ignore their existence, however, is patently not an option. General Raubahn and the Sultana understand this, which is why they ordered the Immortal Flames to provide the refugees aid and succor. Yet none would dispute that the expenses incurred by this policy grow by the day, with no end in sight.
I'm really happy I got Ul'dah as a starting city, because, like, at this point it's like, there's no way they could have had this much focus on the other city-states if you chose one of the other two. Like, this part of the story I don't believe can be part of where you started the game. Like, it's very deep Ul'dah politics at this point, and I really appreciate that. Like, it feels like this is where my game started, and this is how far like I've come on the journey and everything, and now I'm like seeing the actual corruption of the city and the dark hearts of everything going on and stuff like that, and actually, like, I feel way more of a connection to Ul'dah than I do to Limsalomins or Gridania. Even though I like all three cities, I greatly, I feel a much stronger tie to this one than I do the other two, so I'm glad this wound up being my starting zone.
This has prompted more and more Ul'dahs to question their obligation to aid these worthless wanderers. While more and more refugees have come to resent their treatment at the hands of the sneering citizenry. The manner of Lord Lolorito's refusal to grant the Dolmens asylum bespoke a disdain for all refugees, an attitude shared by the rest of the monetarists. And you may be sure they make no effort to conceal their opinions.
Yeah, I saw that much.
It was only a matter of time before the refugees united in protest. Nor is it any surprise that some among them would ultimately resort to violence.
Yeah.
That the Immortal Flames should choose this of all occasions to engage in joint training exercises with the other Grand Companies. By the time they return, the situation may well have deteriorated beyond mending.
It's very specific timing, though. Oh. Now is not a good time, Cardle. Seemed to be Carmine. My hands are full dealing with the refugees. Precisely the matter we wish to discuss, General. Alphinaud, back on your feet already. You may credit my swift recovery to your chirurgeons. Okay. My memories of the riot are still somewhat muddled. I trust you managed to regain control of the situation?
Not entirely. We secured the city soon enough, but not before the unrest had spread to the surrounding territories. Pockets of resistance remains throughout Danalan. We have sent what forces we can spare to root out the last of the belligerents, but progress is slow. They are damnably elusive.
I can well imagine. Given that the majority of the refugees live outside the walls, it stands to reason that they would know the lay of the land. What I do not understand is how they came to be so well prepared. Before my little accident, I observed that several of the refugees were armed, and not with butcher knives and pitchforks, but with martial weaponry. I need hardly add that such equipment is costly.
So it was not a coincidence that it happened when the Immortal Flames went out.
And we saw... was it? It's Alegi, right? Alegi. Like being like, oh, here's my secret thing. And the dude to his side was like, I don't understand what the point of this is. So did he incite a rebellion? Interesting. None can deny that tensions between the Ul'dah citizenry and the refugee population have increased since the Domans were turned away, but would that motivate a starving man to purchase arms in lieu of food? I think not. And what of those who have not even a single guild to spend? Who could not survive without the aid provided by the Immortal Flames? Surely they would sooner sell a weapon than bring it to bear against the benefactors. So there might have been plants in the crowd then. Come to the point. Very well. My point, General, is that this powder keg of discontent was not set alight by chance. These events were deliberately set in motion, and now order must be restored. That is my duty. Until it's done, any investigation can wait. Raubahn. I do not have time to discuss this. My scouts will be returning soon. Raubahn, please. The General is no fool. He keeps his own counsel, and with good cause. Were he to claim without the necessary proof that these riots were instigated by outside forces, the monetarists would accuse him of attempting to shirk responsibility. After all, he and the Sultana have been the most outspoken proponents of refugee aid. Regardless, that was a weird sound. Regardless, they will face harsh criticism in the days ahead. Our allies may stumble upon the truth in time, but I have far more faith in your abilities, Chrane. Therefore, I propose we conduct our own investigation, independent of the authorities. That's always the way to go. To that end, I would have you make inquiries in the settlement suspected of harboring belligerents. Commander Swift will know which they are. He may balk at the request for such information, but I've no doubt that you can persuade him with your silver tongue. I, meanwhile, shall seek answers in my own way, after which we can regroup and share our findings. Well then, shall we? We shall. Have you seen my parents? I have no idea what I'm saying at this point. I'm guessing no. They told me to stay here with the others. They said they'd be back soon, but it's been days. They left with the man from Ul'dah, the man that said they were going to change everything, make it so they could live inside the walls with everyone else. I liked it when he said that. So that's probably the merchant that incited the chaos. I didn't like it when he talked about making the rich people pay. Everyone looked so angry and I got scared. Say, mister, are you looking for someone? Yeah. I'm looking for a merchant. Someone stirring up trouble. I guess stirring up trouble. You mean the man who left with my parents? But I don't know where he... Can I be this lucky? Wait, look, over here, over there. I think that's him. Can I really be this lucky? I kind of wished it was Ungus, but I guess he's dead at this point, so. Well, now, which of these gullible fools shall be my next victim? The samurai? Don't think so. You, bah! He's getting away. Go get him, mister. I will. Hi. You again? Why are you pursuing me? I want to know some shit. Sedition, treason, revolution, that's preposterous. Who has hold your head with these lies? Refugees, the Celtic refugees who terrorize the streets of Ul'dah? Ha! You have no evidence to prove your accusations. None! I have a lot of witnesses. No, I will not accompany you to the Hall of Flames. You have no right to detain me. For the sake of argument, let's say I did do the things you claim. Surely you don't think I gave a kick in his ass about politics. It was business. Only business. What are you waiting for someone? Or is he just scared of witnesses? Oh. Who's that? We both know I'm not the one you want. However, if you agree to protect me, I swear I'll tell you everything. Holy shit! And they're gone. What's all this commotion? If I get blamed for this, I swear to God. 7 hells! Tell the others to spread out and search the area. The killer may still be loose. Oh, thank God. They're not stupid enough to think I went up to him and was like, yeah, with an arrow right in his chest. Thank God. Back again.
Commander Swift has kept us apprised of your recent activities. You've made great strides towards quelling the violence.
Not enough, though.
Despite our best efforts to determine what provoked this uprising, the truth continues to elude us. Have you uncovered aught which might shed some light on the mystery?
Go ahead. What do you know?
This information does not leave this room.
Okay.
The Syndicate's decision to reject the Doman refugees' appeal for asylum had lasting repercussions. A number of those displaced by the calamity claimed it was proof of a policy of discrimination. Together with a group of Alamegan refugees, they organized a series of demonstrations to protest against the Sultanate.
Okay.
Demonstrations which became heated, but did not descend into violence. Until a certain incident served as a call to arms.
Yeah. The merchant.
A unit of brass blades sent to supervise a demonstration loosed arrows upon unarmed protesters.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It was this atrocity which prompted the refugees to take up arms. I need not tell you what followed.
Yeah, that's
We assumed at
terrible.
first that the attack was born of a miscommunication. When emotions run high, they happen. But suspicions were raised regarding the unit's commanding officer, whom I ordered interrogated.
Oh, God.
Sure enough, our fears were soon confirmed. The dog confessed that a merchant had offered him coin
Called
to give the
it.
order. A merchant in the employ of Teleji Adeleji.
Teleji Adeleji. But he spoke in favor of the Doman's cause.
Yeah.
And has ever seemed sympathetic towards the refugees' plight. Why would he do such a thing?
Didn't you say that he would only do it
the
for...
Cartano Reclamation Bill. It is a proposal to annex the Cartano Flats so that refugees may establish permanent settlements.
then where will we PvP? It's wasn't it Alphinaud himself who said that it was strange that Adelegi even tried to defend the Domans to begin with, and probably did it just for some type of profit. I'm assuming at this point that what he hoped would happen would be that if they accepted the Domans, the Alamegan refugees would rise up in revolution against the state, because they accepted the Domans and never accepted them. But now then, I guess he went the completely separate route of like inciting a revolution with completely different means, and still got his way. So what's the Cartoneau reclamation thing?
When last I looked, that was disputed territory.
Yeah.
Aye. Some might even call it a battlefield.
Or a front line.
The destruction wrought by Bahamut was greatest at the Cartoneau Flats. That much is common knowledge. What is less well known is that his rampage laid bare ancient Allagan ruins, of which no record existed.
I've actually never thought about that.
Differences of opinion as to how these ruins should be handled, which is why each nation maintains a military presence in the region to this day. Yet differ though we may, we are still allies. Therefore, in the interest of preserving the Eorzean alliance, we have reached an agreement. Any conflict which may arise during the course of military exercises in the region shall have no bearing on relations between our nations.
And that's how PvP works.
In full knowledge of this delicate state of affairs, Adelegi proposed the Cartoneau Reclamation Bill. A shameless bloody ruse which stands to benefit him in but one conceivable way. If successful, he will gain control over the disputed territory under the guise of assisting in the resettlement effort. And you can be sure he'll build an orphanage next to every Allagan ruin.
Of course, he's one of those.
The man would threaten the unity of the Eorzean alliance and risk countless lives for personal gain.
He's the type of person that would have a Twitter account where all he's doing every day is fighting people over like the slightest politically incorrect take, and just doing everything he can to make himself look as nice and clean and PC as possible, and then when you actually like finally find out something about him, he's got like 12 people buried in his basement or something, like or like he really hates people from some faraway specific region, like shit like that, you know. But he does all he can to keep up a clean Twitter facade, and then but he's actually terrible. I think there's a lot of people like that in the real world. People who try to look squeaky clean, but are actually pretty damn corrupt. And I would assume that most of them are in fact, not most of them, but a lot of them are in fact politicians.
He walks a path all his own.
Yeah.
Independent of any faction and beholden to none of his fellows on the Syndicate.
I love this story. This is so
By
cool.
inciting the less fortunate to violence,
Yep,
he hopes
there
to
it
convince
is.
others that the Cartoneau Reclamation Bill is the only viable solution.
So, yeah.
His sympathy for the plight of the Domans was not but
Exactly,
fostering to
yep,
gain
there it is.
credibility with the refugees. Of that there can be no doubt.
Yeah. Okay. So he wasn't hoping...
Forgive me, but what could possibly motivate Adelegi to go to such lengths? What is so special about these ruins that he would risk his position on the Syndicate, and, most likely, charges of treason against the Sultanate?
Good question. Also, that means that he did not want to incite revolution by accepting the Domans and then having the Elamigans rise up against it. It would be to, like they said, further him seemingly being an ally. There we go with all the buzzwords, Twitter again. Him being an ally to the refugee community, and then him getting what he wants in the end. So good. This is such a
Omega.
relevant story. Omega.
Pardon?
What's up? The end? What do you mean the Omega? The
An
Omega.
Oligon monstrosity, not unlike the Ultima weapon.
Oh,
Mayhap larger, we know not. It has yet to be fully excavated.
but it's there?
Oligon inscriptions indicate that it was created to fell Bahamut himself.
Jesus. Okay.
If accurate, it might explain why Nail Van Darnus chose to bring the Red Moon down upon the Cottonwood
No
Flats.
idea who Nail is, but
Given the ends he
I'll
waged
believe
to
you.
ensure Eorzea's annihilation, destroying the one weapon which could stay the Elder Primal may well have seemed like good sense.
When first I bore witness to the power of the Ultima weapon, I doubted the evidence of my senses. And now you tell me there is another such weapon. One
There
which
is
could
another.
contend with Bahamut. Bahamut?
Bahamut. Yep.
Aye, we were skeptical ourselves. Truth be told, until the Ultima weapon's existence came to light, we thought the inscription had been mistranslated.
And then you saw that thing jump and grab Garuda. Damn.
At present, Omega is more akin to a fossil than a tool of war,
Okay.
having long since ceased to function. As such, its true potential cannot accurately be gauged. However, if someone were to restore it, as the Carlians did the Ultima weapon, I have little doubt that he would wield untold power.
That's not great.
Power enough to subjugate Ul'dah like as not, and the rest of Eorzea besides, which is doubtless why Teleji Adeleji yearns to have it.
Of course.
That he should aspire to world domination.
What
He who has ever walked 2 paces behind Lord Lolorito in matters of commerce.
a snake.
'Tis in acknowledgement of his own limitations that he seeks this power. Woe betide us all should we allow him to have it.
Pray waste no time chasing rats. Only a fool would believe that secrets can be kept in Ul'dah.
So someone snuck in here?
It would seem the implications of the Sultanate's refugee problem are rather more far-reaching than we assumed.
Damn. I should be glad to know the truth, and yet the thought that all this chaos was the product of one man's lust for power sickens me. How long do you think they intend to hide the existence of Omega from the Scions? They intended to hide the existence of Omega from the Scions. That they even felt the need to do so is most troubling. It would be in our best interest to learn more of the military activities in the disputed territories. Fortunately, you are already well positioned to do so, Cardle. Pray keep us informed of any developments in Cartano. Begone, whelps, this is no place for children. I'm sorry. Wait, was that Elle, the girl whose parents disappeared? I was looking for you, mister. You said you were looking for the man who left with my parents. You know this girl? I don't think her parents are alive. So he visited Stone's Throw too. I see. Did you find the man? Were my parents with him? They were not, I'm afraid. However, I can think of several places they might be. If you like, we can go and look for them together. That's sweet. Really? You'll help me look, mister? Of course, but first, I must needs finish speaking with my friend. He's telling me a secret, you see, so no one else is allowed to listen. Mayhap you could wait for me by that pillar over there, will require but a moment.
That's sweet.
Okay, mister, I'll be waiting. I'll take it to the quicksand. Mayhap Mamodi will know what to do. A legion of Garleans, an Aether-starved Primal, even dealing with an Ascian would be preferable to this charade. Sorry, charade. Sometimes I fear Minfilia is too ambitious. We rush hither and yon in response to threats as they arise, without concern for the strain in place it places on our limited resources and ourselves. Mayhap the time has come for a change. Meaning? Chrane, this is Minfilia. I know this is sudden, but I must ask you to return to Revenant's Toll with all due haste. The situation in the Twelveswood has taken a turn for the worse. I will explain in detail once you arrive. Oh, that's my cue. The Twelveswood, then the primal threat she spoke of before, has been confirmed. I have received no reports of exile activity, which leaves the Sylphs? The Sylphs? Okay. Wait. Does that mean Ramuh? We're fighting Ramuh? Go, Chrane. You know as well as I that the appearance of a primal takes precedence over all else. Oh, and when you arrive, do inform the antecedent that while I am grateful for her concern, she needn't fear for my safety. I'm more than capable of protecting myself. Well, let's not get carried away. More scions of the Seventh Dawn. Thank you for responding to my call with such haste. Rest assured, I shall not have summoned you were it not urgent. To business, then. I have received some more disturbing news from the Order of the Twin Adder. They have reason to believe that the Sylphs may have summoned forth their revered guardian, the Primal Ramuh. I thought he wasn't... may have? Then it's not certain. I thought he wasn't aggressive, though. The Elder Seedseer informs us that the elementals themselves murmur of the Lord of Levin's return to the forest. The Sylph lands, however, display no signs of undue commotion. Forgive me, antecedent, but the fact need not contradict the elemental's testimony. Unlike his more bellicose compeers, Garuda and so on, Ramuh is reputed to act only in defense of his children. Yeah, I thought as much. I imagine he would soon make his presence known if any were foolish enough to direct and endanger the Sylphs or their territory. The abruptness of this development concerns me. Were we not keeping a close watch on the Touched Ones and their movements? If preparations for a summoning ritual were indeed underway, it would surely not have escaped your notice. Oh, it didn't. I was pretty sure it was going to happen, just not this soon. I beg your pardon? You foresaw this eventuality and did not to prevent it? I told Papa Limo I suppose I could have reported things to Minfilia earlier, but there honestly wasn't much we could do except wait and see. You know how the Sylphs feel about people poking around in their territory. They already summoned Ramuh once right after the calamity, but that was because the Garleans came trampling through the forest. And as long as the Castrum Orient stands, the Sylphs cannot be blamed for wishing to have their guardian deity on hand. In short, Yida and I are in agreement. The actions of the forest folk were inevitable and unavoidable. We should still have given a situation report, like update us. And I maintain that observation would have remained the best policy had it not been for the sudden influx of strangers into the Black Shroud. That, alas, we did not foresee. By all accounts, the recent violence in Ul'dah drove a number of refugees to seek safety under the concealing canopy of the trees. 'Tis like that the Sylphs perceived this panicked migration as yet another invasion and quickened their efforts to summon their god. I am put in mind of Titan and the kobolds. Once again, it is the affairs of men which have paved the way for a primal's coming. Indeed, one cannot help but wonder what manners of place Eorzea would be without the civilizing influence of mankind. Be that as it may, this regrettable development does afford us a unique opportunity. Chrane, though your dealings with the Sylphs of little solace through the dealings, you once succeeded in preventing an untimely conflict with Gridania. I wonder, might one who has treated with the Sylphs so fruitfully in the past not achieve similar success with their patron deity? If Ramuh can be convinced of our intentions, it may be the first step to breaking the cycle of primal summoning. A fond hope. Were such a thing possible, we would not have been at war with the beastmen since time immemorial. But maybe this time we can. Let us continue this discussion anon. We must needs first consult with the nation most affected by Ramuh's presence. The Elder Seedseer has requested your personal involvement, Chrane. Pray report to Commander Hilo, at the Adder's Nest as soon as you're able. Steer yourself for the worst. While I hope for a peaceful resolution to this matter, experience suggests that your meeting with the Lord of Leven will prove less than amicable. In such an event, your fellow Scions will of course lend you whatever support you require. Let's go!
Scions of the Seventh Dawn, on behalf of the people of Gridania, I bid you welcome. Your presence is of great comfort to us all in these days of uncertainty.
Did she foresee
I summoned you
2020?
here to share tidings of a most urgent nature. But a short while ago, the great elemental spoke, and his voice was clarion in its intensity. Ramuh is returned unto the forest.
Yeah. That much is clear, but why?
His words ceased to echo in mine ears when we were visited by an emissary from Little Solace.
Oh. Hello. I am Dancing One.
Our guest informs us that the Sylphs too
Are they not going to give voice acting to Sylph? I want to know what they sound like.
Though his exact whereabouts remain unknown, we may safely assume that the Primal was summoned within the heart of the Sylphlands. Unlike the other Primals you have encountered, Lord Ramuh is no raging avatar of destruction.
Yeah.
He is revered as much for his wisdom as his strength, serving as both arbiter and guardian to his children. Given that we and the Sylphs found a way to share the Twelveswood, it is my hope that this sagely immortal will be amenable to reason, and that conflict may be avoided. Blessed as you are with the power of the Echo, you are one of the few among us who may commune with a Primal without fear of influence. I would ask, therefore, that you represent us in this most delicate of negotiations.
Sure. I mean, what's the worst that can
Twelveswood has
happen?
suffered enough. Upon this, we and the Sylphs, and I would venture Lord Ramuh himself, are in perfect accord. Let us not endanger our shared home by engaging in unnecessary hostilities. Dear friend, I beseech you, safeguard the peace which exists between our peoples.
No voice acting.
You have my thanks. Pray make for Little Solace, then. A member of the Order of the Twin Adder awaits you there. He will advise you on how to find the Lord of Leven.
Go into the forest.
An ill wind blows through the forest. Yet, it is not only the Twelveswood that flinches at its coming. All the lands of Eorzea shiver in dread anticipation. Have care.
This one returns, and returns with good tidings. Wise ones have finished searching and have wisely identified the precise location where the touched ones summoned Lord Ramuh. Your timing is impeccable, my fluttery friend. Might you be so kind as to escort this good man to his fellow scions? It would be this one's pleasure, walking one. Please, please, come with this one. We are here. Where's the bearded one? Now they're scary. And so are we, I guess.
Thine order betrays thee, servant of Highness.
I love his voice. Perfect.
Thine order betrays you, servant of Hydaelyn.
I love that. Yeah. He looks so cool.
Thou art the bringer of light, bane of Ifrit, Titan, Garuda, and Leviathan.
He knows who I am.
I am Ramuh, guardian of the children of the forest.
Forest.
I love this voice.
Tramplest upon sacred soil, bringer of light. By what right doth man intrude in this sanctuary of the sylphs?
Suddenly my character actually speaks and has a voice.
Gridanians proffer peace? Their words are born of delusion, thine offer an insult.
Okay, Dumbledore, calm down.
Thou speakest of harmony, yet carest naught for my children's desires. They did but wish to dwell beneath these boughs in solitude. Yet even that was too much to ask of man.
Well, you're basically a nuke,
Thus
so
did they
people
turn to
get
me
scared.
for succor. The sentence I pronounce upon thy kind is just. Gridanian or Garlean, it matters not.
That's a
The
huge
good
beard.
intent of one excuseth not the misdeeds of the other. Thy conflicts have brought naught but anguish and misery unto the forest. All blame doth lie with the darkness that resideth in the breast of man.
I mean, he's not wrong. Like,
Whence sprung this calamitous seed? In the beginning no such duality existed. Were light and dark given form when man was born?
I don't know. Maybe.
It would explain much. Not least why strife and sorrow follow ever in thy wake. Thou canst not deny the urgings of thine own nature. Knowing that thy mere presence here portendeth tragedy, wilt thou persist in this pretense of peacemaking?
Right.
Thou bearest the crystal which I bestowed upon thy wayward charges, that they should entrust so precious a gift to thee. Thou standest apart from thy kin. Thou art the bringer of light. Aye,
The bringer of light.
there is something more in thee.
Can't get over how
Well,
good this voice actor is.
I shall consider thy proposal.
Proposal.
Shouldst thou survive my trial.
Okay, so we are fighting him, but it's not like an out of control
Thou wouldst
primal.
champion the cause of harmony. I must have proof that thou art fit to play the role. Wither mine ire, and prove to me thereby that thou hast strength enough to stay the darkness which threateneth to consume thee. Yet if thou shouldst be found wanting, know that all men shall perish in the storm of my judgment.
I believe him. very, very frightening.
Come to me, bringer of light. I shall await thee on the field of battle.
Why is he so cool?
Urianger, it is rare indeed to find you so far from a tome.
Since when is he here? Oh, I thought he walked away and just left.
The Lord of Levin himself. Never till this day had I looked upon his visage, save in painted renderings made faint by time. Ever shall this scene remain etched in my mind's eye. Beg pardon, my lady. I must beg thine aid on a point of research. If thou art resolved to face Lord Ramuh, I would ask thy leave to observe the event.
He will never show me his face, will he? That is loud. Show yourself, Ramuh. There he is. Sauron. Can't get over how cool he looks, man. All I remember from him in Final Fantasy VI is that he was sitting in a chair and talking to me. Just like a normal NPC. This is really cool. Oh, got that. Lot of things going on here. I'm not sure like what to soak and what to move away with and what to kill, but I'm assuming I'm supposed to kill these out, even though there aren't really that many people helping. Take it down. Yeah, there we go. Still invincible.
I pronounce thy sentence.
Looks like there's two people linked or something. I don't know what that's about. Oh, we're just flying around. Doesn't seem like the link is hurting me though if I run into it, so there's that. Go. He's going down. Oh. Back in. There it is. There it is. That's my favorite primal so far. Absolutely. So respect him. Rest in peace, legend.
I have taken thy measure, bringer of light.
Oh, you have you?
And I judge thee a worthy champion. The task of excising the sin that hath taken root in man's heart is thine. Shrink not from employing thy strength in service to the forest and the wider realm beyond. Like hungering shadows do the enemies of harmony gather, and meekness will but feed them. If man is to be delivered from the dark, it shall be by thy guiding light alone. Stray not from the path, for if thou dost, thy people shall be truly lost.
Goodbye, Ramuh.
Thou hast slain the Lord of Levin. A regrettable act, but a necessary
I actually
one.
feel bad. Feel bad about it.
In witnessing thy struggle, a truth hath been revealed unto me. If I mistake not, it may yet prove a chink in the eternal armor of the Ascians. But let us conclude our present business. I shall expound upon my findings at the Rising Stones anon.
To Gridania. Gridania. Das Gridania.
You are returned to us, dear friend, and none the worse for bearing the heavy burden which I did press upon you. Most glad am I of this. I am informed that your efforts to negotiate a peace with Lord Ramuh ended in conflict. Pray tell me, what
Just
befell?
a friendly spar, you know? I will miss Ramuh. He was so
Ramuh
cool.
made trial of you.
Yeah.
I fear there is truth
Face
to
me,
his
bringer
claim.
of light.
It is the darkness
was
within us
great.
that attracts the darkness without. It cannot be denied that misfortune follows man. For evidence, one need only look to the conflict brewing in Cartano, or to the rising flood of refugees. Our shared struggle against the Empire should have served to seal our union. Yet the ties which bind the Alliance strain under the weight of gross self-interest.
It's not easy.
As the scars of the calamity begin to fade, so too does our sense of common purpose. Yet now is scarce the time to forget our shared responsibility. If this new-sprung realm is to survive beyond its infancy, it must needs be nurtured by all. Eorzea must be as one. Yet I fear that dream is still far off.
Yeah, a few expansions at least.
On behalf of the people of Gridania and the elementals both, I thank you for all that you and your fellow scions have done.
Thank you. It's nice to be appreciated,
Full
you know?
oft have I been compelled to look to you for aid of late,
Uh-huh.
and offered all too little in return.
Uh-huh.
As leader of this nation, I shall endeavor to prove a more worthy ally to your cause henceforth.
I appreciate that.
Lord Ramuh has departed, yet the keening of this ill wind grows no less insistent. Voices of the forest, pray speak and I shall listen. What unseen evil begets this unease in my heart?
It's on the science.
If everyone is ready,
Huh.
let us begin.
There's a lot of voice acting in this patch. I liked it. Like it a lot.
Eorzea, the floor is yours.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. They're here to zone.
As all here assembled now know,
Right.
in its final hours as our Order's headquarters, the Waking Sands did play host to a most unexpected visitor. I speak of the Ascian clad in white, Elidibus.
Yeah.
Unwelcome though his presence was, his words that day did serve to confirm a truth long suspected, that the Ascians are eternal beings, to whom physical destruction is as a temporary inconvenience.
In the intervening time, Eorzea and I have striven to discover a means by which the Ascians might more permanently be slain.
And 'tis my belief that we have found the thread that will allow us to unravel the twisted skein of their existence.
Skein?
In the moments prior to Leviathan's most recent manifestation, the Sahagin elder who summoned him was observed to undergo some manner of ascension. The etheric readings taken by Y'shtola at the time of this transfiguration have proven most enlightening.
The disruption to the flow of ether was sudden and dramatic. So tangible was the agitation, I scarce had need of my goggles.
The significance of Y'shtola's readings might better be understood in the context of mine own, taken at the instant of the Lord of Levin's demise. Unlike the Primal, the Sahagin was not subject to etheric dissipation.
Okay.
Before discussing our new discoveries, it may benefit us all to recall what we know of etheric behavior.
Please. Go ahead. Might as well. Love this song.
Let us begin at what some might call
Wait.
the end. When we who dwell in the material realm
Why are we
die,
doing a
our
PowerPoint?
spirits dissolve into the flow of ether and are returned to the ethereal realm.
Uh-huh.
In turn, the restless energy which suffuses that plane streams back into our world, giving rise to new life.
'Tis as the heavens did decree, the way of all mortal souls.
Souls.
Twixt this world and the next do the ethereal currents swirl, bearing the very essence of life. Thus doth the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth continue unabated.
Primals behave somewhat differently. In order to manifest and then maintain a physical presence in this realm, they must consume vast quantities of ether, most often in the form of crystals. Though they may seem to live, their flesh is but ether given shape.
He
Thus,
ate the
the
crystals.
defeated primal leaves behind no broken corpse.
Yeah.
Rather, the essence of its form seeps back into the land whence it came, and the energy of its shattered spirit is called back to the ethereal realm.
What happens with the crystals?
And there it waiteth, till next the prayers of the faithful do draw it forth from the sea of ether, to take their offering of crystals and make for itself a new body.
So are the crystals like a cost of summoning it? Like, how would they disappear?
Which brings us on to the third group, the so-called immortals. They exist in a manner all their own.
Quite. Even as the Sahagin elder fell to the Admiral's musket shot, I witnessed the release of an ethereal cloud, which immediately took possession of a nearby minion.
A soul that dissipateth not upon the death of the flesh.
The secret of life everlasting, and in the claws of a Sahagin no less. But I wonder, what would happen to one of these obstinate spirits should there be no suitable host for it to claim?
If mortal death entails a return to the ethereal realm, it seems doubtful that the soul of an immortal would venture there.
Nay, it merely withdraweth a distance, unto the shore of the ethereal sea, perchance, but no further.
Okay.
Yes, it exists in neither this realm nor the next, abiding instead in the space that lies between them. The Ascians took control of Thancred by means of a Crystal of Darkness, an artifact which, if our theories are correct, serves as a gateway to the place I have just described.
Okay.
I was hoping people had forgotten about that.
Nope.
I am sorry, my friend.
It's all I think about when I see one of the Ascians.
For a mercy, the weary road of our research hath brought us unto an answer.
The Sahagin ascended to an immortal state, but he did not possess a Crystal of Darkness through which to flee this realm. Thus was he consumed by Leviathan.
I see. Okay.
If we could entrap the spirits of defeated Ascians in like manner, and thereby deny them resurrection...
Yoink.
Therein lieth the path to victory. Thou art most perceptive, my lady. Only when we have trapped the bodiless soul within an ethereal prison can we hope to defeat its unnatural constancy. Thus might even an eternal paragon be consigned to oblivion.
These feats are, of course, far easier said than done.
I would
At
assume
present,
so,
we
yeah.
lack a viable means to entrap and extinguish an Ascian soul. Yet, I believe it to be possible. The pieces of the puzzle lie before us. We have but to put them together.
I'll get a giant butterfly net. Get right on that.
I will depart at once to convene with the sages of Sharlayan. Together shall we divine the steps by which our goals may be achieved.
I have the utmost faith in you, Archon.
Aren't you all Archons, technically?
Beg pardon, antecedent,
Okay.
but I would raise one final matter. Even now, a Sharlayan survey party seeketh to ascertain the fate of the students of Baldesia.
Does he want to join them?
Their findings shall soon be known to us. Though you harbor feelings of dread, I bid you surrender not to sorrow, but abide instead in hopeful prayer.
I shall, Archon. Thank you.
That's sweet. This is probably not sweet, but it's cool. What's going on? The Council of the Nine Ringwraiths. The Lord of Leven is returned to Ether, as was Leviathan before him.
Ramuh's acquiescence was most intriguing.
Inferno, Vortex, Crag, Whirl, and Levin. All have now been humbled by the Bringer of Light.
The limitless potential of man. Hydalin's servants grow stronger and mightier by the day.
Yet he prospers at great cost to his mistress, whose strength is all too finite. 7 times have the masses survived the rejoining, but their souls are grown weak and wane. And one, maybe, I don't know. Yet even as it intervenes, the ardor empowers our master. All that remains is to nurture the strength of the gifted, to forge the final key. And that is the task to which we bend our every effort. Ul'dah. Yeah. Divine seeds were ever wont to quicken in Eorzea's fertile soil. We need only lead men to the field, and by their eager hands shall a new deity arise. That which was shattered shall be made anew, and the one true God shall come again. Interesting. It's a letter of thanks signed by the leaders of the Eorzean Alliance, and acknowledging the Scion's tireless service to the realm. It mentions in particular the names of all the defeated primals: Ifrit, Titan, Garuda, Good King Mogulmog the 12th, Leviathan, and now Ramuh. Needless to say, there is only one among our number to have faced them all. Papa Limo. And though these words of gratitude were addressed to our order as a whole, I feel that they were meant for you above all others. I too must offer my heartfelt thanks for all you have done. In the course of your duties, you have never once failed to answer my call to arms. You're a true hero, Chrane, and Eorzea is that much safer for your presence. That's sweet of you, thank you. We owe in no small part the dangers you have faced on our behalf, and the people you have won over to our cause in so doing. Our list of enemies has ever been long, but think of the allies with whom we are now blessed. Of the Sylves a little solace, who wish not of conflict. Of the Alamegans and the Domans who stand with us, determined to halt the dread march of the Empire. And then there's Sid and the Fellowship of Noah, racing to unlock the mysteries of ancient Alag, that we might be spared the horror of another Ultima weapon. You know, as long as we stop Teleji Adeleji, I think was his name, from unearthing Omega? Yeah. That sounds pretty bad. Of course, when speaking of our great allies, we must not forget those closest to us, by which I mean our fellow Scions. Thanks to their many and varied talents, our order is uniquely equipped to combat the far-reaching corruption of the Ascians. And combat it we shall. Your enthusiasm is truly a heartwarming antecedent, given our embarrassing wealth of allies. I trust it will not inconvenience you unduly if I absent myself for a time. Oh. I shouldn't have known when he said antecedent. He's basically the only one who calls her that. Alphinaud, I take it the troubles in Ul'dah no longer require your attention? There is yet some rumblings of discontent, but the air of simmering violence is largely dissipated. To report such that I stand before you now. That, and to speak with you concerning the new organization we discussed. I have a message for you from Elle. You recall the refugee girl? The one whose parents were missing? They were found unharmed. That's great. That's fantastic. She wished me to pass on her thanks to you. Why, Alphinaud, am I to understand that you made the effort to remember the poor girl's name? I look forward to reading all about her in your reports. I do hope you left nothing out. Making fun of him for caring? That's rough. That's rough, Alphinaud. Chrane, you have been away from Revenant's Toll for some time now, I believe. Might I suggest that you put the affairs of the realm to one side for the moment and take this opportunity to reacquaint yourself with the town? Mr. Boulder and Mr. Coltonet. Did you know Mr. Chrane is back?
So it would seem. Welcome home, Chrane. My companion and I but recently became full members of the Scions, and I believe proper introductions have yet to be made. I'm known as Hoary Boulder. Is that his name? Hoary Boulder? And this bookish fellow is Coltonet. Though we remain largely unproven as adventurers, we have taken it upon ourselves to instruct the Doman younglings in the art of combat. I told you, Mr. Boulder, we are not younglings anymore, we're adventurers. You're 12. And we were just asking Mr. Chrane if he could give us some special training. I think we're ready to hunt monsters alongside him, don't you? Well, you've certainly been diligent with your drills, but I'm afraid the fiends of Mordone are still ever so slightly too dangerous for you. I have a counter-proposal. What if we were to cross swords with Chrane? A demonstration of skills at arms, if you will.
Hoary, if I didn't know you better, and I do, I'd say you were merely seeking to test yourself against the legend.
Well, mayhap I am. But what matters the motive when the children stand to learn so much from the lesson? What say you, Chrane? Would you consent to spar with me?
Seems a little side questy, but sure. Hurrah! We're to have a tournament. Come, everyone. We must prepare our gear for an outing. They're probably not even 12. They're more like 10. Try not to disappoint them.
Have faith, Coltonid. I shall summon every last ounce of strength to make of this a worthy contest. The field to the east of town should prove suitable for our purpose. I very much look forward to our bouts. Very well, let us not keep the younglings waiting any longer.
Hori, are you certain you wish to fight him alone? That is Chrane you face.
What better way to test my mettle? Pray allow me to attempt the first round unaided. After all, it was this hero's legend that led me to join the Scions to begin with. Without Chrane to inspire my efforts, I would not be half the warrior I am today.
You're a paladin. You have a sword and shield. Your point is well made, but remember, this is for the children's sake as well as your own. Should it appear the contest will end too swiftly, I shall add my spells to your blade work. Hello, you haven't begun yet, have you?
Oh. Ida, what? Who are all these people?
Oh no, are you about to be embarrassed in front of a crowd?
When I heard about your sparring match, I told everyone I could. I thought you could use a crowd to cheer you on.
Yes, and there are still more to come. When I mentioned Crane's name, the reaction was quite enthusiastic. Why, my very own popularity seems to be a sickly shade in comparison. You'd best claim victory, bringer of light. Your burgeoning reputation is at stake.
Well, our teacher won't be beaten so easily. He's a master swordsman. You can win, Mr. Boulder.
I'm gonna roll him down the hill.
We shall soon see. Be on your guard. You have bested me. I yield.
Surprising.
That was incredible! He beat them both at the same time!
We knew you couldn't lose, Chrane. None can defeat the Guardian of Eorzea. Since when do I have a fan base? What's happening? Now I see why they send you to deal with the Primals. I have much work to do if I'm ever to attempt the same.
Impressive as always, Chrane. 'Tis ever a pleasure to witness the spectacle of your martial prowess. Any judging by the smiles on these many faces, they too appreciate the hard-won strength that keeps the perils of the realm at bay. Guardian of Eorzea, yes, that is a most fitting title. Do you recall when first we met? 'Twas at the memorial service for the Battle of Carteneau. We met in the cart of the opening of the game, young man. How dare you? How dare you not remember me? At the time, Tom DeLonge stuff. At the time, I was yet attempting to understand this land of Eorzea. I sought to grasp the reason why grandfather willingly sacrificed himself to protect it. I shall speak plainly. My initial impressions were less than favorable. Dire problems abounded, and yet the effort I saw expanded towards the solution.
Jesus, what is this? Like, sometimes these sentences, man. And yet the effort I saw expended towards their solution was haphazard and half-hearted. 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 I thought Eorzea a foolish and childish people. Eorzeans. Considering the shambles their home was in, I would not have been surprised if some had chosen to swear allegiance to Gaius and the order he proposed to enforce. Enforce. I don't know. The legatus' single-minded military invasion precluded any such switching of loyalties, of course. Were it not for a desire to continue grandfather's legacy, I would have abandoned the realm to its fate long ago. The threats were too many, the nations too self-involved and unstable. So I guess that's what your sister did then? So we haven't seen her since she left. 'Twas you who convinced me the salvation of Eorzea was possible. 'Twas you who taught me, through countless acts of bravery, that what my grandsire thought to preserve was not the land, nor its history, nor any single nation. It was the people. These wonderful, oft infuriating, stubborn people that suffer blow after terrible blow, only to drag themselves back to their feet to face another day. Though he never put such feelings into words, I believe grandfather's admiration for this inextinguishable courage grew into a fervent wish. A wish to aid Eorzea and its inhabitants in charting a course for the future. A wish that has now become my own. I too will endeavour to take up the mantle of Guardian of Eorzea and champion these people who toil towards a better world. Our course, however, is not a simple one. The troubles that plague us are of a scale that cannot be solved by the science of the Seventh Dawn alone. No, what is needed to tackle the root of the primal threat and effectively counter the schemes of the Ascians is a new, expanded organization that operates beyond the limitations of nations and borders. If you would aid me in building such an organization, then pray let us continue this I said return out of just pure automation. Then pray let us continue this discussion back within the walls of the Rising Stones. So what's this plan, Alphinaud? Pray forgive me if I tread over old ground, but I would first speak of the grand plan. Since the advent of the 7th Astral Era, the leaders of the three nations have been deliberating over an accord that seeks to bring the disparate forces of Eorzea together into a single entity. A realm-wide grand company, if you will. The military might of such an institution would be drawn from every corner of the land, and directed against threats that no single nation could hope to overcome alone. Yet, while the purpose of this hypothetical organization is undisputed, the logistics of its formations have become the source of endless debate. And the longer these discussions continue, the more I sense the impetus towards unification draining away. Thus have I been campaigning for the creation of what might be considered a trial company. It will be on a much smaller scale than what we hope to eventually achieve, but capable of the same manner of unrestricted operation accorded to the Scions. It is my hope that the successful utilization of such a force will lend momentum to the lagging deliberations. This is an interesting idea. So the Scions are basically getting their own grand company with an army. Also, being a primarily military outfit, I mean to assuage fears of its misuse by placing the fledgling organization under the authority of the antecedent. Oh, okay, so Scions are not getting its own army. The Scions work tirelessly to protect Eorzea and its people. But as you yourself have witnessed with the refugee revolt, there are limitations to what even we can achieve. So he's going off and doing this on his own.
With this new company under the Science Command, however... Okay, so it is under us. Okay, never mind, I misunderstood. With this new company under the Science Command, however, we will be capable of responding to a wider range of difficulties without straining our resources or overtaxing your formidable talents. The goals of my proposed organization and those of the Scions are ultimately identical, a point conceded by all concerned. But before I can move forward with establishing this precursor to the true border-spanning Grand Company, it is yet necessary that I visit the 3 leaders and gain their official approval. A tiresome and time-consuming task, which is why I would ask that you accompany me on the journey, and attend to the business of recruiting our inaugural members, while I am otherwise engaged with bureaucratic formalities. Bureaucratic. Thank you. It is reassuring indeed to know that the Bringer of Light and his discerning eye will be selecting our future allies. Our first destination will be Limsa Laminsa. Let us rendezvous at Bulwark Hall. An organization with the freedom to operate with territorial impunity, but the Krakens are well known that times to act and time to watch. This trial company yours falls into the latter category. Yeah, that makes sense. That's a bummer. Oh my god, can I recruit Reiner? You're my favorite Attack on Titan character. Can I recruit you? I'd heard about the formation. As Commander Yellow Jackets, Limsa needs to receive my full attention. God damn it. I could have had Reiner. That's a shame. Hold on, Real. Isn't he from the MSQ? Well, if it ain't Chrane, I don't forget Adventure Brave enough, daft enough to seek the shortcut. Yeah, you'll remember old Real, Company of Heroes, 3 Whistles. Nice. Looking to put together a new crew? Sounds like a right lark. Alright, count me in. Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Got good old Real. No. No, I'm recruiting Laurentius. Oh god, it's gonna truly be you. Fortune must face see it upon my release, be yours. Could it be that you don't remember me? It is I, the man whose crimes you exposed. I'm as a whaler, Rayla Payton at Buscarons. I'm gonna hoo you out of spite. I'm selling maps and supplies to Garleans. I remember you. Don't worry. Recruiting? This might be the second chance I was looking for. Uh-huh. The Revenant's toll. I shall leave at once. You shall not regret this. I'm a changed man. Oof, we'll see about that. Wilred. Oh, right. Wait, you're the man who came to Little Alamigo for that masked devil. I am. Who knows what might have happened if you hadn't? I'd probably be dead, and a whole lot more of my friends too. I never that disaster really got me thinking about our homeland and about the outsider who saved us. A new company? Sounds exactly the kind of opportunity I need. Hell yeah, man. Alamigo, rise up. Orcan. Sounds familiar. Of the church in Saint Adama Landama. Oh, she's the one from the church where Sid was, as Marquess. Right. My place is at the church. Yeah, that makes sense. It's cool that they bring back all these characters. Whispers say you're funded by corrupt coin by syndicate money. Damn. I did not know that. Is that true? How fed you, Chrane? Well, got a few. A single Alamigan youth. Well, you've certainly given us an admirable start, even if our ranks are yet somewhat thin. In these troubled years following the calamity, talks of Eorzea's salvation must seem akin to grasping at clouds. But there are those who have risen to the challenge nonetheless, and the hopes that inspired these people was born in no small part from the victories you have yourself won. Thank you, Chrane. I will not squander the precious gift you have placed into my keeping. These recruits will become the foundation of a new beginning.
And yes, we are free to begin. As you have no doubt surmised, the Sultana also graced my trial company with her blessing. Our first wave of recruitment is over, the documents signed and the finances secure. There is naught to prevent me from taking the next step. You are concerned by the Syndicate's involvement, as was I. Thus was the origin of every coin of the contribution carefully scrutinized and recorded. This organization will not be built on corruption. Naturally, I would prefer not to rely upon outside sources at all, but even my family's subsidiary coffers could not sustain a venture of this magnitude. And as for the rumors and doubts surrounding this enterprise, well, such things shall plague us until the company has had a chance to prove its worth. I still have hiccups. It will not be an easy process, but we will earn people's trust one success at a time. Speaking of time, we should waste no more of it. Let us return to the Rising Stones and lay the first stone for a united Eorzea. Fly. And they're off.
Tell me, General, what think you of Alphinaud's bold endeavor?
I think it is more than bold, Your Grace. His organization would pave the way for a united Eorzea. Well do I understand his impatience, since facing the common threat of the Ultima weapon, our nations have seemed farther apart, not closer together. Considering the many problems we face, should we not be glad that someone else is taking the initiative?
We have all pledged our cooperation, yet the grumbling continues behind closed doors. Ul'dah is not alone in her duplicity. I myself have doubts as to the good this organization will achieve.
Sure, we all do, to some extent.
With the inclusion of the finest soldiers of the 3 grand companies, it promises to be a fearsome military body. But whom will it serve? Even under the watchful gaze of the Scions, it is not unthinkable that such a force could perpetrate a great wrong. Does it not concern you that a significant proportion of its financial backing came from the coffers of the Syndicate? That those unprincipled worms might forge this extraordinary gathering of warriors into a private army?
I have trust in the Scions, Your Grace. They have spared us no end of trouble at the hands of the Primals. If they seek reinforcements, I deem it unwise to deny them. As for their finances, full many gave generously. And though our nobles proffered a sizable sum, their coin did not spill from the pockets of Lolorito and his cronies.
And that's good.
And what of the presence of our stalwart adventurer friend in this endeavor? I doubt the Warrior of Light would betray our cause.
I have no reason to betray the two of you.
Yes, there is that, I suppose.
Kind of like the two of you,
Yet
actually.
I have known people to change. Whether we will or no, the events of the age hurl us this way and that, like a dust devil skipping across the sands. Cannot be done about Telechi?
I have explored all avenues available to us, Your Grace. But as Ul'dah law now stands, we lack the evidence to convict him of any crime. To arrest him on spurious grounds would only play into his hands.
He has all but committed treason, and yet we can do nothing?
That's politics.
Then what good our government? What worth the royal house? How deplorable this mockery of justice!
Have faith, Your Grace. It is not over.
What can I do for you, Chrane? I thought you'd have your hands full helping out this new arm of the Scions. Ha! I barely noticed your recruits arrive. It was barely a trickle compared to the flood of treasure hunters we have passed through here every day. While I appreciate your offer of aid, it is more your burden that concerns me. I'm told this trial company will answer directly to the antecedent, so I trust that means we'll have less work in the long run.
Raubahn, the shipments, we couldn't... What's up?
Godswoman, what befell?
We were bringing a shipment to Revenant's Toll, provisions remarked for the frontier effort. Just as we sought to cross over into Mordona, we were set upon by brigands. I believe they may have been heretics. They were many, too many. We only escaped with our lives by abandoning the supplies. Pray forgive us.
There is naught to forgive. Provisions can be replaced, but smart soldiers are hard to find. Take your rest, and I'll have someone along to tend to those wounds. What to do? If heretics are involved, then this is like to be more than a case of simple thievery. Ishgard will need to be informed.
We collected the provisions from Camp Dragonhead proper.
Understood. I shall see that they are appraised of this development. Cray, were you not in good terms with the Knights of House Fortemps?
Wait, is that Harsh something? My buddy?
I will be sending them a missive immediately, of course, but I would also have you travel there and offer your considerable talents. Thank you for your understanding. I'm certain Lord Haurchefant, there you go, my boy Haurchefant, will be glad of your assistance.
Yeah.
The incident with the new frontier hands? No, you need not elaborate. I have been following their progress with no small amount of interest.
Did he have a voice before?
Brave men and women all. They do our nation a great service. The existence of a fortified outpost in Mordona will do much to dissuade the Empire from trespassing on Kurth's soil.
I saw it fit to show up as a dragoon, by the way.
You have chosen to lend your support to this endeavor. Never let it be said that House Fortemps does not acknowledge the efforts of her allies, or her debts. 'Twas in the spirit of gratitude that I arranged for sundry supplies to be delivered to Revenant's Toll. That the shipment should chance to be waylaid by heretics is poor fortune indeed. Poor fortune, I say, yet not without precedent. If you would know the truth of it, these incorrigible villains grow more organized with each passing day.
Really?
This new unity of purpose we attribute to their leader, the Lady Iceheart. But though I have devoted significant resources to the task of identifying this woman, we have yet to learn so much as her birth name.
It's not a lot to go on.
What we do know is that the heretics speak of Iceheart in reverent tones, and would gladly embrace death rather than betray her. Such loyalty is rare indeed, and I fear to imagine what so committed a collective might achieve. The brigands have not yet been so brazen as to risk direct confrontation here in Dragonhead. Some few of their number have, however, been sighted not far to the west of here, and with ever-increasing regularity.
Why do I like this character so much? He hasn't really done that much. Like, sure, yes, he is one of the first characters when you get here who is like, well, let me hear what you have to say, let me hear you out and actually like take you seriously and be nice to you. So that's a big thing, I guess, but I don't know, there's something about this character that's just cool. That's just nice. He seems like just a nice dude who's like who just wants to help and just do the right thing. I don't know, something. I really like this character. I don't really know why. It's just cool. Also, I'm a huge sucker for like aesthetics, and I like the gear he's got going on. I think it fits very well, and like shit like that just brings a character to the front of my mind, which is like, I love clone troopers in Star Wars so much. Like, Captain Rex is one of my favorite Star Wars characters, just in entirety. Same with, like, Darth Revan and stuff like that, because they have, like, cool armor designs and stuff like that. And then on top of that, they have great, like, fantastically written characters on top of that. But just an armor design is enough to, like, pull me in and then just dive deeper. And I don't know, I guess he qualifies, because there is something about this character that stuck with me. His name slipped my mind sometimes, but the character himself stuck with me. Even though he didn't do that much in the actual, like, main quest. Still a really interesting character.
A visit to Whitebrim Front may bring you the answers you seek. Will you
The
brave
voice
the
actor
snow,
fits really
knowing
well.
what implacable foes may lie in wait?
I don't remember him having a voice before, though.
Halone's blessings be upon you. Though I take no pride in the admission, many of mine own countrymen are not so well suited as you adventurers to dealing with such foes. Were they dragons? It might be otherwise.
I believe you.
But truly, I could not wish for a finer ally. You have done much for my house in the past, and I have no doubt but that I shall have cause to celebrate your deeds again.
See? He's just, like... But truly, I could not have wished for a better ally. Like, he's just like, he's hyping you up. He's just a cool dude.
Should you learn aught of value, pray return to me forthwith. A warm hearth and a warmer welcome shall be waiting for you.
And who are you? She has a voice, so might be important.
Your return is most timely.
Mm.
Of their own accord, my thoughts had turned to your task and the progress thereof. I confess, my imaginings tended toward the grim and bloody.
Camera angles, man. They're showing off.
But you are here now, and I suspect such frivolous wonderings do little justice to the reality of your travails. Tell me, what did you learn of Iceheart?
I think she looked on me from a hill.
Indeed. And this transpired at Snowcloak? Of all the highlands, that towering wall has borne the worst of the region's brutal shift in climate. So inhospitable has Snowcloak become that we have still to survey the area in its entirety. Could its frozen heights conceal the heretics' hideaway? Mayhap a more robust reconnaissance effort is in order.
Interesting, okay.
Putting such considerations aside for the moment, we still know far too little of this Iceheart. That she is capable of commanding such a band of fanatics bespeaks natural authority, and no small measure of charisma. As much as I would like to fathom this mystery with you, the situation has grown beyond my personal purview. I am bound by duty to inform the Temple Knights and request that they bring this matter to its conclusion.
Yeah. So it's out of both our hands.
Given the glowing reports the new commander has garnered thus far, I am certain that they can be relied upon to take appropriate action.
New commander, okay.
Though Iceheart's true identity yet eludes us, you have provided us with a point from which to begin. Sometimes it takes but a single stone to prompt an avalanche.
True.
On the matter of the stolen provisions, I have already made arrangements for a second shipment to be sent to Revenant's Toll.
He's too nice, man.
I could not well allow such an honorable venture to be undermined by one miserable setback.
Miserable. Tataru. These parchments need to be sorted. Oh, I'm sorely tempted to file the lot in my waste paper basket. Ah, Chrane, you startled me. You wish to lend a hand? Splendid! She's so excited. Would you be a dear and hand these uniforms to the new recruits? They're scattered over yeah, okay. The recruits know to don their garb immediately and assemble here in the Rising Stones. Okay, I can do that, sure. I wonder if the Sons will have matching uniforms. We'll see about that. Orencius is first, I guess. Thought it best to mimic my fellows here, but I have no idea what we're supposed to be doing. That checks out. Deep blue uniform. Nice. New uniforms. I reminded my induction into the Wood Whalers. God help that boy. Eorzea. Alian. Oh yeah, this is the adventurer who was like standing outside of dungeons and stuff early in the game. Off the organization. No. You'll fit in. You'll fit right in. Real. Hello there, lad. Looking for me, were you? It's just giving a whistle, but I'm not sure it'd be heard amongst all the bustle. Proper uniforms. Not to worry though, I'm sure I'll be fine after making a few adjustments. Bet you will. Wilrud? Allow me, you could learn much from Revenant's Toll. Never worn aught quite so voluminous. Voluminous, I guess is the... Yeah, voluminous. That makes sense. Basically everyone in Alamigo is half naked. Ephemy, I don't remember recruiting you, but 2 more. Ilberd? I don't believe we met. I'm Ilberd, and I have the honor of leading my fellow recruits as captain. Oh, okay. Much did I lose to the calamity. I look forward to aiding others in rebuilding their lives. Okay, so this is going to be the captain of the group then, I guess. These uniforms are a shrewd decision. There is no easier method creating a common bond amongst what is essentially a band of strangers. Yeah. I don't remember you either. Scarlet Garb makes me a proud member of the Maelstrom and a hardy defender of Limsa. Yes, so take this and forget about Limsa. That's a striking shade of blue. Perfect. Oh.
Comrades, your presence here this day signifies the momentous choice that each of you has made. With your strength now pledged to the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, you are beholden to no single nation. You stand as the vanguard for a united Eorzea. From this moment forth, I declare you Crystal Braves. Let us mend this fractured realm and face our enemies as one. Whether it be the Beastmen and their primals, or the conflict in Carteneau, it is plain that the nations of Eorzea cannot solve the problems which plague the realm. Thus does it fall to some few heroic souls to succeed where they have failed.
The young man's making some big moves.
Take your place at the Scion's side as guardians of Eorzea, and together we shall fight for the freedom of all! For the freedom of all!
It's cool that you can tell, like, who some of them are.
A rousing speech, Alphinaud. Or should I say, Crystal Brave Commander Leveilleur.
Crystal Braves.
Please, Antecedent. The title is honorary. I shall not be leading the troops into battle, as it were.
No, I assumed as much.
We are of the same purpose. Let us join hands and do what must be done to save this land.
The Scions stand ready.
Hell yeah.
I'm eager to see what the Crystal Braves might accomplish.
Yeah.
This shall prove an interesting time indeed for the Scions.
I'm proud of Alphinaud. Putting such a huge thing together.
Yes, I'm listening.
You keep getting phone
Our
calls in the
worst
middle of
fears are
conversations.
confirmed. The entire Isle. Such power defies comprehension.
It's
Truly?
terrible.
Kryl is alive? Thank the 12.
That's the person she was talking to when we were all in the air balloon.
I see. Pray,
I remember that
inform me
name.
if her condition changes.
Because it caught me off guard when she
Yes.
said it.
I shall pass on your words to Eorzea. My thanks. I shall contact you anon.
Good thing her friend is still alive then.
When I learned of the loss of the Isle of Val, I dared not hope that my friend had survived.
Yeah.
Yet, by some miracle, it would seem she has. She still
Guess a
to
Kryl
regain
is a woman.
consciousness, it is true, but better that than death. Putting this happy news to one side, we must now endeavor to make sense of the readings taken by the survey party. It appears the etheric disturbance which accompanied the Isle's destruction is of a magnitude alarmingly close to that of Ultima. Could the Ascians be responsible for this devastation as well?
I don't know.
I wonder. Have you heard aught from the Mother Crystal since the battle with the Garleans?
No. Yeah, no, I don't think
Then
so.
she speaks to neither one of us. Heidelin silence portends naught but ill, I fear. Louisoix, I pray you yet watch over us.
That's what that staff is. It's his staff. Okay. Been wondering about that for a while now. Oh, Haurchefant. Of House Fortome. Oh. What a weird place to skip out on voice acting, okay. Very good. See that the provisions are prepared for transport. Let us hope that this shipment is spared the fate of the last. The winds are uncommon fierce this day. What is that place? Looks like a huge fortress. Is this that fortress? The elf pope? Oh wow. They remind me of like medieval stormtroopers. That's intimidating, damn. Oh, and he's there too. That's not good. And the others can't see it. So is that the leader of Ishgard? Is that what's happening?